Alright, you guys, so for today, what's going to happen is you have a sub, obviously, but I want to go over one more time just so you guys remember what all's required for this assignment and then what I'm sort of looking for. So, real quick, the first things that you need to remember to do are teach, whoops, teach, review, an exam. Teaching is not just telling. Remember, I've said it 20,000 times. Teaching is showing, explaining, giving examples. So, for example, if I want to teach how to write a hook, what I do is I define it. So, a hook grabs the attention of the reader or makes the reader want to read more. That's the whole point of a hook. So if you accomplish that, you're fine. So for example, if I were to write an essay on Martin Luther King Jr., I could use one of the 4 different hooks that we discussed. I can have an anecdote, I could use a quote, I could use mine just went blank. I could use a quote, I could use an anecdote, I could use just a general statement, or, ask a question. It's any of those things. So I could say, try to type with one hand. There we go. Martin Luther once said, I had a dream. That's a quote. And that's a fine little hook. Okay? Next, you'll want to be able to show them other examples of bad ones. So a bad one might be, I like pizza. That has nothing to do with this. That has nothing to do with Martin Luther. You don't want to ever say I. You're not a part of this. You want to just make statements. What is this about? Okay? So I like pizza is unacceptable. So that's a good way to teach, and that's just for hooks. You can do the same thing with thesis. Give examples. Is I like pizza a good hook? No, it's not. So you can show everyone. A good hook draws the reader in. Martin Luther was shot in the head. Not the strongest hook in the world, but it's interesting. It grabs your attention. You're kind of like, whoa, you got shot in the head. That sucks. Anywho. So that's how you would teach. Then to review, ask questions. Ask questions. When you review things, you don't want to just ask bland questions. Force your audience, well, really your students, because that's what they are to you in this moment, force them into a position that kind of makes them go outside of their comfort zone. Ask tough questions, not give me an example of a hook. Say, okay, we're writing an essay on homes. Just homes. That's it. And so what you can do is say, we're going to write an essay on homes and give me a hook statement about homes. And so force someone to say, well, I would start with, most people have a home. That's a good little hook statement. You're like, oh, it tells us what the essay is about, but it's not very specific. For this essay, or for this assignment, you need to have an essay. This essay needs to have an outline. I need to know how you structured it. And remember, each part of this essay has its various components. So, for instance, in the intro paragraph, you have 3 things. You have a hook, you have your logic, which we've discussed, you have a thesis. Must be strong. Here are a couple examples. A weak thesis is Dr. King was awesome. That does not show us what this essay is about. Yeah, it's sort of about how he's awesome, but you need to be specific. you need to go through and explain how he was awesome. So, Dr. King did many great things. Whoops. Is that a good one? Not really. It now you know he's going to talk about great things, but still not quite specific enough. The more specific you can be, the better. That's why we're looking for strength. So, let's try Dr. King through his life made an everlasting impact on civil rights. That's what this essay is going to be about. So using that thesis going on, I can now think about my body paragraphs. In each body paragraph, you need a few things. You need a topic sentence. Whoops. You need evidence. And you need your support. Okay? Your topic sentence tells the reader what this paragraph, is about. Exactly what that paragraph alone is about, and be specific. So then I'll look at my evidence. So I want to show some things that he did through his life that made an everlasting impact on civil rights. Remember, going back to the thesis. So one piece of evidence is his "I had a dream" speech. That was a huge impact. It was massive. So then I would say Martin Luther King once said, "I had a dream." And then the support explains how this "I had a dream" speech made an everlasting impact on civil rights. So you have to connect it back up. So "I had a dream" speech. Well, that's really annoying me. There we go. Yep, and that is too. Okay, sorry. English teacher. Oh, no, that's totally wrong. Anyways, tells just isn't right. Anywho, so moving on. To support it, I would have to talk about how this speech made an everlasting impact on civil rights. So I would just explain it to the reader. Once Dr. King gave this speech, it awakened the nation to the issue of civil rights. So that paragraph's done. And all you'd have to do for the other paragraphs is sort of the same thing. Find a piece of evidence and connect it back to your thesis. What does it all mean? And then conclusion. Also, I will be grading you very harshly on if you can explain all of these things. So if you say every body paragraph needs a topic sentence, you need to give me examples and tell me why topic sentences are important. Same thing for the support. What is support? How do you do it? What does support have to do? Those are questions I just answered, and so I expect you to be able to answer them as well. Your thesis is probably where I'm going to be grading most harshly on. It needs to be specific. You need to tell me exactly what is going to be said. It needs to be very, very strong. So I could say Dr. King was an amazing man. Well, cool. But I know a lot of amazing people. What made him amazing? Oh, he made an everlasting impact on civil rights. That's what made him amazing. That's more specific. So you need to narrow it down. What exactly are you going to be saying? And I'm going to use the rest of this essay to prove that he had an everlasting impact on civil rights. That's the whole purpose of body paragraphs, is to show what the thesis claims. Okay? And then if you would like, you can have sort of an exam. You can play the bucket game, or you can give an actual exam. It's up to you. If you guys have any questions, I'll have my Chromebook with me all day, and you can send me a message in Classroom, and I will answer it as soon as I can. But just work diligently, Miss Carruthers, and we'll be able to help you. And if you have any issues, just send me a message and I'll get back to you. I will know if you guys are having any sort of problems with the sub. Work through it and work hard. This is due on Monday. And so first thing on Monday, I'm going to be requiring every single person to pay attention and get through this. And if you're not well prepared, we're going to have a big issue. So today, Friday, is your very last day to get this done. So work hard, and I'll see you guys soon. Oh, yeah. Sorry this is so awkward, but whatever.